of democratic values in the country. The president spoke at the presidential villa in Abuja during an interfaith iftar where he hosted members of the National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress alongside leaders of Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC). In a statement released by spokesperson Bayo Ononuga, the president emphasized the importance of strengthening electoral institutions, processes, and system across political parties. Tinubu also advocated for the adoption of direct primaries, saying the system would allow party members to participate more actively in choosing candidates for various political offices. Describing himself as a committed Democrat, the president pledged to continue working towards Nigerians' unity while upholding the rule of law. The headline to that story: paper Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has criticized the ruling of a federal high court in Akure restraining him from seeking another term in office, describing the decision as premature and a distraction from governance. Ayedatiwa spoke yesterday during a televised interview. The governor said discussions about the 2028 off-cycle governorship election was unnecessary at this stage, noting he had only recently secured a fresh mandate from voters in the state. Ayedatiwa said his focus remained on delivering the mandate given to him on the 16th of November 2024 governorship elections. The governor also added that although he is aware of the constitutional provision limiting a governor's tenure to 8 years, but he has not begun considering how it might apply to him since 2028. The sheet was filed by chieftain of the All Progressive Congress in the state, Akin Egbuwalu, who asked the court to interpret the Section 137 of the Constitution regarding the eligibility of Ayedatiwa and his deputy, Olaide Adelami, to contest for another term. The defendants in the suit included the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Minister of Justice, Ayedatiwa Adelami, and they would be ineligible to stand for election in 2028, having been sworn in on the 27th of December 2023 to complete the tenure of the late Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, and subsequently inaugurated on the 24th of February 2025, after winning the 16th of November 2024 governorship election. The judge declared that the 1999 Constitution as amended does not permit an elected president via Supreme Court of Nigeria in Mawa vs. Onyako. The headline to that story coming from Ondo State: Ayedatiwa faults court's ruling barring him from seeking another term. This report is coming from the FCT. NNCDC arrests suspect posing as NY Security and Civil Defense National Youth Service Corps NYC member to defraud parent and student. The suspect, name withheld, posed as a corps member to work at the International Model Science Academy. Olushola Odumosu, the FCT commandant of the Corps, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja yesterday. Odumosu debunked an online media reports alleging that the command was illegally detaining the suspect and demanding a huge sum of money. He described the report as false, misleading, and unfounded allegation against the command and its leadership. This is coming from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Reports coming from parents and students. Still serving reports from the Daily Post news. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has assured Nigerians that terrorists and bandits are suffering heavier casualties in the ongoing military operations across the country. Speaking after a security briefing with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa, Musa said the armed forces has come to clarify what it described as slanted reports by the media. He added that contrary to what may be read or heard, the terrorists and bandits are taking more casualties, their commanders are being killed every day, and that they are confident of victory. The defense minister acknowledged authority. On the support from the presidency, Musa revealed that President Tinubu has promised new equipment to enhance the armed forces' capability. Tired or discouraged, and bandits are the ones suffering more. Coming from the Daily Post newspaper this morning, details of Tinubu's meeting with service chiefs emerges. Now to the aviation sector. Airline rules out fare hike as aviation fuel hits 1,852 naira per litre. United Nigerian Airlines and the Jet A1 aviation fuel prices in the last 1 week. The product now goes for between 1,803 naira per litre, 1,000 in Lagos, Abuja, and Kano airports, respectively. The prices of aviation fuel has surged by over 100% in over 1 week, rising from 900 naira per litre as of Monday. A litre of the product was still being sold for 1,500 naira and 1,600 naira, depending on the airport and the major fuel marketer. The price of the products, the single largest cost component in airline operations, was placing significant pressures on operation finances. Okonkwo, however, warned that increasing ticket prices at this time could further reduce passenger traffic, which has remained at less than the sudden increase in operating costs, but insisted that the management was yet to consider raising ticket prices. According to him, the price of aviation fuel has doubled within a week, worsening the operating environment for local carriers. He also noted that while airlines technically had the ability to raise fares, doing so at this time could negatively impact passengers' demand. The support is coming from the aviation sector. Airline rules out fare hike as aviation fuel hits 1,852 naira per litre. The Nigerian Police Force has conducted an official pull-out parade that marks the official and ceremonial termination of service of the immediate past IGP, Kayode Egbetokun, at the force headquarters on the right foot by laying the foundation for professional policing. IGP Disu also revealed that his part and that signs of leadership right from time, stressing that his ability to navigate tough terrains were as a result of his commitment and dexterity in handling complex issues. He maintained that the police force under his leadership would also tap from the knowledge of former IGPs and ensure that the integrity and professionalism of the officers that made his tenure a success. The headline to that story this morning coming from the Guardian newspaper. NPF pulls former IGP Nigerians fuel price hike, says Peter Obi. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has blamed the recent sharp increase in petrol and diesel prices in Nigeria on the country's lack of strategic planning, warning that the impact of the ongoing US-Iran conflict on global oil markets, saying a few weeks ago petrol was selling for less than 1,000 naira per litre, but today it cost over 1,200 naira per litre. Obi explained that most countries maintain strategic petroleum reserve to cushion their economies against supplies or prison shocks, but Nigeria lacks such a buffer. The former presidential candidate's warning came as petrol prices in a hike in gentry prices at Dangote Petroleum Refinery from 995 naira to 1,175 naira per litre. Some stations were mixed and members of the organized private sector as warned that the price surge could trigger inflammatory pressures on goods and services, forcing efforts to boost local refining capacity and find innovative ways to tackle recurring fuel price hike. The Nigerian Labour Congress also criticized repeated petrol price hike, while international developments, including potential energy oil reserve releases by G7 nations, were cited as attempts to stabilize global oil supply. Obi concluded his statements with a call for need for long-term planning to insulate the country from global shock and protect the economy from sudden price hike. The headline to that FCC Chair seeks inclusive governance, gender balance. The executive chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Ulayat Omidiro, has advocated for a stronger commitment to inclusive governance and gender balance as a pathway to strengthen democratic stability and Lawrence met the core while delivering a keynote address at a high-level side event titled Global Women Partnership Without Borders. The event, organized by Bidney Charity Foundation, brought together policymakers, civil society leaders, and global stakeholders to discuss strategies for advancing the United States. The FCC chairman stressed that national unity and sustainable development can thrive only where governance structure reflects inclusivity and fair representation of both men and women in leadership, governance, economic participation, and social engagement. She noted that inclusive leadership national challenges. The headline to that story: FCC Chair seeks inclusive governance, gender balance. Now talking politics, appeal court uphold controversial Ekiti PDP primary election of 2025. The appeal court sitting in Akure or Kolawole Oluyede as a candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State on the 8th and 9th November 2025 ahead of the 20th of June governorship election in Ekiti State. The appeal court affirmed Dr. Wole Oluyede as the rightful winner of the People's Democratic Party primary election held in November 2025. The appeal court, by its judgment, nullified a ruling by the federal unanimous decision, the three-man appellate panel led by Honorable Justice Peter Chudi Obiora, alongside Honorable Justice Jane Eyang and Honorable Justice Peter O. Afen, set aside the earlier judgments of the Federal High Court in Ado-Ekiti. The justices held that the primary election, supervised by former Governor Dakwambo of Gombe State under the Damagam-led administration, was valid. This morning, coming from the Daily Post newspaper, appeal court upholds controversial Ekiti PDP primary election of 2025. Says nobody will live forever, Bode George wants party leaders. Ahead of their move for party reconciliation, a chieftain, of the People's Democratic Party, but hacks like super immense. Bode George went further to describe leaders as Westbend, saying they must bear in mind that no primaries. The PDP is in a rush to put its house in order. One of the moves being made is to reconcile the two warring factions to enable those who want changes of the reconciliation in an outright second term for President Bola Tinubu, while the Kabiru Turaki-led side has vowed to field a viable candidate for presidency. The Wike side has also made it clear that the PDP will not be fielding a presidential candidate in the next election. And this is a well-detailed story coming from the Daily Post newspaper. Talking PDP crisis, nobody will live forever, Bode George wants party leaders. UN urges stronger action to end violence against women and girls continue to be fueled by war, militarization, and entrenched inequality, urging government to move beyond condemnation and take decisive action. Speaking at a high-level meeting marking 5 years of the UN Group of Friends for Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls, she said spoke on the sidelines of the ongoing 70th session of the Commission on Status of Women and UN Headquarters in Rights and Empowerment of Women. Established in 1946 by the UN Economic and Social Council, the Commission plays central role in setting global standards. Deputy Secretary General pointed to alarming patterns in several crises. In Sudan, UN experts has reported widespread sexual violence and attack on women human rights defender. Back to the headline this morning, coming from the Punch newspaper. UN urges stronger action. King Charles III has hosted A reception for the Nigerian diaspora in the UK, a celebratory prelude to the historic visit of President Bola Tinubu's Karuma of Party Jollof and the soulful sound of Afrobeat Orchestra. In a party shared by the royal family, King Charles looked very happy. The king was seen engaging warmly, running from doctors and nurses to tech grain. The UK government is rolling the red carpet to the scorched trade, security, and jackpot trend that has seen thousands of Nigerian professionals move to the British shore. The Palace Sosimi Afrobeat Orchestra provided the music. Parents in diaspora ahead of to go on the program, the Daily's own bars part of the team. Many thanks for staying tuned. My name is Bamidupe Kolawole. Good morning to you.